Shalom. Kahalo Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kahakradash, Shalom, and salutations and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, where I continue to learn is 100% true. Shalom to the elder bishops and the elders and the prophets, the teachers and evangelists of Great Millstone, who are also continuing to learn this 100% true from Yahweh Shem Yahushai Barakatham. Shalom also to the speckled bird, the confused face, the Akim and Akwab, the Akim on the highways and byways, and last but not least, the elect. Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahushai Barakatham. And I was watching some videos, and I was like, I don't know when was the last time I actually did like a breakdown. So because I wasn't sure, I said to myself, I guess through the spirit, let's go ahead and do a breakdown. So I have different chapters and breakdowns that I like to go into, or just read. Repetition is the father of all skill, as Elder Apostle Gabar says, which is 100% true. So the spirit just kind of brought me to Daniel, which is a heavy book in prophecy, and it was like, okay, so where do you start at? And spirit led me to chapter 7, verse 7. So I'm kind of wanted to go into verse 7 of chapter 7 of Daniel, and not the whole chapter of 7, but just the verse, Salakia, and to get the understanding of it, but also needed a title for it. So I came up with the title is the title of who is the eagle, right? That's my title. Who is the eagle? I'm gonna write it down so I can remember. And I got inspiration from there's a video, an old video, 1990, of King Marshall, and he Elder Apostle Tahar is there, and some other men too. It's dark. This is like at Times Square. I don't know if I could find the video, but I remembered the video because, I started watching these videos some time ago, and I would watch them over and over and over again. And King Marshall, I believe that's who he was. He was King Marshall, Elder King Marshall, because he's an elder, and he's sleeping now. And it was a powerful lesson he was given out there in the street, and it was about who was the eagle, and he talked about it, and also I've seen the elder apostles go into the breakdown of the eagle. Who's the eagle? So I'm going to give you some scriptures and some precepts of about the eagle. So the hell is going on out there? These crazy ass people. I don't know what's happening out there. So let's get some scriptures. So like, yeah, I'm hearing noise outside. It's like, what the hell is going on out there? And I got some precepts for them. So I work this how you be edified. So the first scripture I have is 2nd Esdras 11:40, and it reads, "And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit." I wanted to read that slow so I can give you the breakdown of it. So let's go into the understanding of 2nd Esdras 11:40. So and the fourth came. So who was the fourth? I also got some notes here that I took down. And I also watched some videos as well for further edification and for understanding. Um, Salakia. But so um, the fourth beast is who? The fourth beast is the Roman Empire, right? Because we had four major rulerships. Now there were rulerships in between and before these four major rulers. So, which I'm not going to get into, but I will give you the names just for understanding for your studying. The Assyrians had a short time of rulership before the Babylonians. The Babylonians was the first beast. All right, the Babylonians was the first beast. Now the Assyrians are also talked about in Daniel chapter 7, but we're talking about the four beasts, and the first beast was the Babylonians. Okay, the second beast was the Medo-Persians, because the Medes had control, and then the Persians took over, and they merged together. Okay, and when they merged together, the Persians outgrew and outdone the Medes, so they lined together, became the Persian Medes. Right, that was the second beast. Okay, the third beast, and I'm just giving you a quick understanding of how it lines up. The third beast was the Greeks. Now we do understand when the third beast came into power, that was led and was occupied of the people of Edom, of Esau. And Esau were Greeks. Now, later on in that timeline, the Greeks conquered, starting with Alexander the Great, or Alexander the Creep, as we say. He took over, and he conquered many lands. He conquered the Persian Medes land. He conquered the Babylonians. He conquered everywhere, and he united the Edomites together. And he also Hellenized, look up the word Hellenized, the Israelites. He Hellenized the Israelites, and he made them, not he, Salakia, but he made everyone servitude to him. And when he passed, there we go, when he passed, four generals took over. And there was a time called the Diaduchi. The Diaduchi was the wars of the four generals going against each other. And Seleucus, I believe it was Seleucus, was the one who was victorious out of all the four generals. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but this is to my understanding. But Seleucus, let's get the understanding first. Let's find out. We don't want to just guess. Let's find out. Who was the ancestor of Antiochus Epiphanes? The Seleucid Empire. Okay, so I was correct about that. The Seleucid Empire was able to be victorious in the Diaduchi, was the wars of the four generals, right? And these were the four generals of Alexander the Great. After he passed, he gave them all a part of his kingdom of rulership. And after a while, as Apocrypha says in Maccabees, that these generals went to war with each other, and their children's put crowns on their heads. And remember the Ptolemies, and the Antiochus the first, Antiochus the fourth, the third. These men conquered and continued to conquer, but Antiochus he decided, because he was the king and took over more than the other empires, the other three empires, which was I want to get the information correct. Who were the four generals of Alexander the Great? Because you got to get it, man. So the four generals that took over was Ptolemy. He took over Egypt. Cassander, which he gained Macedon and Greece. Seleucus, which established his empire in Seleucia, controlling the Persian Empire. And Antigonus, who ruled the Asian Minor, Syria Empire areas. So Seleucus was the heavy victor in that time. Now, I say that to say that all of these men, all of these guys were, all these Edomites. One of the things that they was inspired by and also used to define them was the eagle. The eagle was the mascot for Esau, and this is something that I picked up listening to Elder King Marshall of the One West. You know what I mean? That the eagle solidified who the Edomites were because they respected that. So go to I'm gonna jump down to 2nd Esdras 11:45, and it reads, "And therefore appeared no more thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body." And that's because Esau was taken out, and he was no longer in rulership, because who were ruling in the Dark Ages time? Because again, Esau was ruling as Rome, which is the fourth beast. So like I'm jump ahead of time. So you had the Babylonians, the Persian Medes, the Greeks, and the fourth beast was Rome. Rome was also Edomites. They transferred from Greeks to Romans. And there's information in history about those wars that took place, and Rome consumed the Greeks. And this is what it says when it says, "And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past." So the Romans overcame the Babylonians, the Persian Medes, and the Greeks, right? So this is why we know so much, and there's so much reverence and understanding in history about Rome, because Rome was a major empire, more major than all of the other empires that ruled the earth in the ancient time. And it says, we still in 2nd Esdras 11:40, "And it had power over the world with great fearfulness." So everyone feared the Greeks, right? Everyone was afraid of the power and the organization for war that the Greeks had, and the shed of blood that the Greeks had. The Greeks was mass murdering men. The Greeks, the Romans were mass murdering, and the Greeks were too, but the Romans took it up 10 notches up. This is why it says that, and they had power over the world with great fearfulness. Everyone feared the Romans. Everyone knew that the Romans did not play games. If the Romans were coming, and understand that Job 9:24, the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. So Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai gave this power to these Romans to, and also it was also Esau's blessing of the sword in that time, which wasn't the modern day gun at that time. So they were blessed with war and murder and all kinds of other different things like that. And it says, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. So again, like I was saying, the world was fearful of Rome. Rome conquered and ruled everywhere and everyone, and took what they wanted and did what they wanted to do. And everyone was fearful of them because, when Rome come into your town, you must get and give it up, man, because, they just don't play no games. And they created a vast, powerful empire, similar to what America is today, aka Babylon. The same ways that Rome ruled then, America rules now, and they are the reincarnation of the Romans. America is the reincarnation of the Romans, which goes to when you think about Revelation, and it says the unclean frogs, the three unclean frogs. It talks about the army. Well, this is all Rome again. It talks about the army of America, the religion, the religious fact of the Vatican, of Rome, and also the money part, which starts with the Rothschilds in Great Britain. These all three together creates a powerful empire, which is Rome all over again. This is what we're dealing with now. This is Rome all over again. So it says, and so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. So this is also a time for him to deceive the world. This is also a time of going into Cesare Borgia's father, who decided to what's his name, the painter, Leonardo, I think it's Leonardo, who was also Cesare Borgia's little buddy, paint pictures of him as Hamashiach, changing it up, iconoclasm. All this is history that you know what I mean, like you have to consider before you decide that you want to get out and on the highways and byways teaching or telling people what and what not about the scriptures when you don't know, and you go against brothers who've been out there for years studying and putting the work in, being diligent, and come out there and teach, and you got a couple of years under your belt, and you proud and propped up that you're going to go out there and tell these brothers what they should and shouldn't do, calling them all kinds of names and mocking the Most High. That's how the Most High is definitely going to destroy you, man. This is, what I got. So I gave you, 2nd Esdras 11:45, and therefore appeared no more the eagle, because he was taken out of power. You know what I'm saying? When you go back to book Revelations, it tell you that he was freed out of his pit after 1,000 years, and that's the Renaissance era. That's the era. We are post-Renaissance era now, with Babylon ruling for this short time before we go into this fourth industrial season of the devil of Esau having his digital era for a quick minute before Yahushua comes back. And that's what that rock talks about also in Daniel. Goes back to Daniel about that rock is Yahushua HaMashiach destroying all four of these beasts, and mainly, which is the only one that's mainly in power, is Rome, which is now clay and iron, because now his that clay and iron is Edomites. For instance, let's say Russia is also Edomites, but they are against America, who are also Edomites. So this is and then also United Nations, and the countries that make up the United Nations, they are all against one another. So that the powerful beast, which was Rome, which is reincarnated today, which is the clay and the iron, is going to be destroyed by Yahushua HaMashiach. And this is where we at with it after 1,000 years, which was the Dark Ages, because the Israelites, who they call Moors, Morenos, who they call dark-skinned Swanti, and chose to pick up the religion of Islam, of Muslims, ruled Eurasia, because that's what it is. Ain't no seven continents. It's 6 continents, and Eurasia is that's what they gave it Europe to separate. That's what Esau does, man. He changes up times, names, and everything like that because he's conquered all over the world, and everybody he's conquered, he has given them new names and made them servitude to him. Now, yeah, you got some nations who try to go against them, like the Japanese, which are the Ammonites, in those early or those kind of mid 1900s and like 1930s or something like that. But you know what I'm talking about, with the Pearl Harbor and the Fat Boy and Little Man, when they dropped those bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That was a blessing that was given. Matter of fact, it was after they freed out or they liberated the O's, and they took Germans, and Russia got some Germans, and then Babylon got some Germans, and they started working on these nuclear warheads. You know what I'm saying? And this is what they used. I'm all over the place, Salakia, man. I'm trying to keep with it, but let me move a little faster because I may have to do a part 2 to this because I gotta bust a move real soon. And I didn't mean to do too much talking, but with these scriptures, sometimes you gotta explain the understanding. Even though we just like we have to study, we expect you to go and study too. You know what I mean? So Second Esdras 12:11, it says, "The eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel." So that eagle is the rulerships of Esau, starting with the Greeks. Esau was the rulership of Esau was the Esau takes on the eagle. You know what I'm saying? When you look at history, you look at, especially in Europe history, you look at all the Greeks took up the eagle, the Spaniards took up the eagle, the Romans took up the eagle, all Edomite civilization, for as a mascot of what they represent, they took up the eagle. You know what I'm saying? It's synonymous with Esau, and that's what the understanding of the eagle is that Esau is this he represents this this potent beast, which is a ruler in the sky as far as fowls are concerned. You know what I'm saying? He's like one of the top dogs, and this is what Esau wants to be, or Esau has come to be, one of the top dogs in the nations of people. And the sea means nations. It could also mean in space as well with water, but the sea, it represents nations of people. Damn, man, I ain't gonna be able to finish this. Let me do this, and I'm gonna come back to it. So I'm gonna stop it right here, and I'm gonna do a part 2. All right, shalom.